Speaking of hedge funds, let's go to the outperformance of Chris Rokos. His firm now manages more money than Brevan Howard. He co-founded Brevan Howard, and now he beat it. I think it's 8.2 million now billion is under market cap.
Yeah, no existential crisis for Chris Rokos here. I mean, it is pretty amazing how you see. This is a Shakespearean story in a lot of ways. I mean, Alan Howard. We note in our story. The AUM at Brevan Howard is down 75%.
So the worst year on record last year.
Exactly. How much is this Chris Rokos winning and how much of it's Howard losing?
Right.
Actually.
I mean,
it's the macro funds.
Yeah, it exactly is. And this is, we are seeing a little bit of a changing of the guard, as it were. When you look at some of the underperformers, it's very, very well-known names. It's Brevan Howard, it's Tudor, it's Caxton, of course, John Paulson, and maybe these up-and-comers are going to have their moment here.
Yeah, and the question is this temporary, is it cyclical, or is there a structural thing going on?
And of course, if you ask Greg Livin, how much are they going to get paid?
Yeah, exactly.
But also what's interesting is that if you take a look at, say, the volatility, we make a lot of hay of it in the first quarter, but it was really just in U.S. equities, right? We saw that from the bank, so it wasn't in FIC.
Right.
So that's a negative, and it's not everywhere. I mean, you have volatilities lower here than it is over in Europe for European equities, so it's not like a broad-based pickup, and that's going to pose a problem for the macro funds we thought were going to do well.
Absolutely. And going back to Lippman and this sort of consumer versus corporate question, it is going to be harder to make money. Then again back to the fees. That's why they pay them, to figure out in a more complicated market how to, actually sail through.
I remember, it must have been a couple of years ago now, we had the CEO of a big fund, publicly traded fund, come in and talk about macro funds and say part of the problem is actually digital. Because there's so much information that's instantaneously available to everybody in the world that it used to be the case that macro would make money because you'd be ahead of everybody. You'd be a step ahead on macro trends. Right. And now it doesn't happen anymore. All the central banks, all the governments, everybody else, it's all published, it's out there for everybody, and it's competed away the advantage. Don't know if it's right or not, but that's what he said.
Interesting.
It's a thesis.
No. I dig that. Unless you have idiosyncratic risk.
Yeah, exactly.
Or factors, but then it's the same issue. You have to be ahead of the curve.